Welcome to FPL Grind, where I will be helping you in making your dream fantasy league team. So, 3 game weeks have passed and now it is time for game week 4. During the last 2 game weeks, my team has not been where I wanted it to be, and so therefore I am playing Wildcard. I hope this Wildcard will boost my score. So, without any further ado, let's jump into my team. So in goal I have Ederson, whose price is £5.6 million now. He's selected by 20.2% of teams right now. And I picked him because he has clapped 2 clean sheets against Newcastle and Burnley and only conceded 1 goal against Sheffield United. And the upcoming fixtures are with Fulham, West Ham and Nottingham Forest. So not a very hard fixture ahead also. So I selected him for clean sheets. Now, moving on to the defenders. So my first defender is Ben Chilwell. Still, he is on my team because he is a great player and his match is against Nottingham Forest, so there is a chance of clean sheet, and also he can give assists as well. 32.4% of us have selected him and his price is constantly rising. It is now £5.8 million. Given the upcoming fixtures of Chelsea against Nottingham Forest, Bournemouth and Aston Villa, I suppose Chilwell is a good pick for now. Next up in my team, I have Destiny Udogie from Tottenham, whose match is against Burnley, an away fixture. He is selected by 8.2% of us, but his ownership can constantly rise over the next few weeks because he's playing very well. He can assist, he can score goals, and he is obviously having high chances of clean sheet against future fixtures like Burnley, Sheffield United, and after that the match is against Arsenal, so he can be rotated out. So there is no problem with Destiny Udogie. He is a good player and a nice pick for the current FPL scenario. My third and last defender will be Emerson Palmieri from West Ham United. His match is against Luton and Luton is playing in home. So that is why I chose him, because West Ham's defense is pretty decent. They only conceded 3 goals against decent fixtures like Brighton and Chelsea, and he costs only £4.5 million and might be a differential as only 0.6% of teams have owned him. So I guess I will be playing Emerson this week, and I'll be seeing after this they have matches against City and Liverpool, so I might rotate him out of the team as well. I have 2 free transfers, so rotation will not be a problem as I already have a lot of pounds in my bank left. Now moving on to midfield, the first midfielder is Bukayo Saka, whose match is against Manchester United, which will be a difficult fixture for sure, but he's an amazing player. And apart from this game week, I believe he can score pretty good points. The next matches are against Everton, Spurs. Also, he's a penalty taker still, not Odegaard. So points will not be a problem, I guess, for Saka. 66.4% of us own him and his price is on the rise. He is now worth £8.7 million and might be worth more in the future as well. Next up we have Bryan Mbeumo from Brentford, who is going to play his match against Bournemouth this week, and he has scored a humongous 25 points up till now, which is a great score, and he's worth £6.8 million only, and he's the penalty taker for Brentford. So I guess he's a must-have for times like these when they have fixtures like Bournemouth and Everton. In mid they have against Newcastle, but alright, that's not gonna be a problem. He can be rotated out of the team. He's a very decent player and will score a good amount of points. I know, I believe in him. He has scored 3 goals and per 90 minutes his expected goals rate is 1.06, which is a pretty good rate. So I'm believing in Bryan Mbeumo. Next up in our midfield we have James Maddison from Spurs, who is in his best form recently, and his match is against Burnley in away, so it is a very good fixture. 18.4% of team have owned him and he is worth £7.7 million, which might rise in the future. He has an expected goal involvement of 1.03 per match, so it means that if Spurs do something, mostly he will gonna be a part of it, and he has his fixtures against Burnley and Sheffield United in the next 2 game weeks, And also against Arsenal, he's a fairly talented player, so that might not be a problem for him. So let's see what happens with James Maddison. Next up in our midfield, we have our fourth midfielder, Raheem Sterling, against Nottingham Forest, a home fixture. He costs £7.1 million and is owned by 11.6% of teams right now. And taking him is a bit of a risk because he didn't perform in the first two matches, but I guess it's a risk worth taking because in game week 3 he scored a humongous 19 points, which is not very easy. He had 2 goals and an assist with 3 bonus points in the last match against Luton, and the next team is Nottingham Forest, which is not a very decent team as well, against Chelsea, so it might be a risk worth taking, and he might be involved in the goals that Chelsea score in the future. So he is a very good player. If you want to take Chelsea, you can take Raheem Sterling or Jackson, so I guess I'll be going with Sterling. Also, a huge dilemma is there amongst managers right now if they want to take Sterling or Maddison. If you have only got one choice, I guess you should go with Maddison because Maddison is much more consistent right now, and if Sterling performs the next 1 or 2 game weeks, then you can take Sterling, but Maddison is on his beautiful form right now, and I guess it will be not risky to take Maddison. And now we come to our last midfielder, Phil Foden, who played only 4 minutes last time and scored 4 points, which is quite lucky considering the fact that it was an accidental touch before the guy scored the goal, Rodri. But then it was reported later on that he was feeling ill, that's why he didn't play the full match. Of course, it's very risky gambling on the Pep roulette, but still, we play Foden because I guess he will be playing in the current fixtures due to absence of De Bruyne. Also, the next fixtures are against Fulham, West Ham and Nottingham, so there are very favourable fixtures for Manchester City, and I guess Phil Foden can give beautiful returns in these matches. Moving on to our forwards, we have Erling Haaland, who I hope will be better against Fulham, who have conceded 5 goals in just 3 matches. Also, I guess he is playing well, just he missed a penalty, but still he scored 3 goals in 3 matches, which is a decent form, right? I guess it is time for those 9% of teams who haven't taken Haaland to get hurt, really hurt. Let's see what happens this week. His partner will be Wayne Wissa, who has his match against Bournemouth at home, and he is currently worth £6.2 million and is owned by a 17.4% of people. He has scored 22 points in the last 3 matches, which is brave and beautiful, and he blanked last game week, but let's not see the negative aspects. I believe that Wissa can do something this time, and he will be a good pick for my team this week. Let's see. So that is my playing 11. And coming on to the leadership choices, I'm making Haaland my captain against Fulham and Maddison my vice captain against Burnley. So I believe Haaland can really count as a captain. Let's see. Coming up to the substitutes, we have 3 budget picks, namely Areola against Luton, Malo Gusto against Nottingham from Chelsea, and Dan Burnstill against Brighton. And Avoni is a nice forward that I recently bought during my wildcard chip. He has his match against Chelsea, that's why I've benched him. In future, I will play him, of course. As we have seen in the trends of the last 3 game weeks, it's not the expensively priced players that are playing well, but decent budget picks are also performing very good, and they are obviously great for the bank. My squad cost is £97.8 million and I have a good bank balance of 2.6 million, so I can upgrade to any player I want, and I hope that I don't have to upgrade this week because I've just played Wildcard and there will be international break coming up after this game week, so let's see what happens. So my team is ISO11 and the league code for my mini league is XYJ43D. If you want to join it, of course join it, it will be entertaining for us as well. I believe this week will be awesome with my wildcard chip. Let's see what happens. If you have found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. It really helps. Thank you guys for watching and supporting the channel. Peace out.